Hello and welcome to Product Popcorn, the podcast that explores topics related to product management. Most of the time. We talk with product managers and also designers and engineers that work on product teams, and only sometimes discuss the possibility of artificial intelligence taking over the world. You can always read more at productpopcorn.com. Today we interview a gaming product manager named Peter Knudson. He works at Unity, an online gaming platform. Peter gives us some perspective on how he got into product management, and specifically gaming. We also talk about monetization models in gaming and how they can be applied to other products outside of the gaming industry. Before the interview, Adam and I report on Udacity's Grow with Google scholarship for any product managers who are interested in learning to code. I also talk about starting my MBA, and we rant about how to improve the user experience of the wine store. Also, wow, I got a lot of feedback on my doctor episode last week. Some listeners definitely have differences of opinion from what Dr. Mike said, and they emailed me about it. So I will definitely be following up on that next week. If you ever have feedback on an episode, please feel free to email me at Kimberly@productpopcorn.com or hit me up on Twitter. I can't promise to reply to everybody, but I try. Hey everybody, welcome to Product Popcorn. I'm Kimberly and I'm a product manager.
I'm Adam and I run a food truck that we sell tacos. But you know, we don't sell like chicken or beef tacos.
See where this is going. It's very uncomfortable.
Kim, what do we sell?
Pork tacos, I'd
Nope,
say.
not pork tacos. No barbacoa.
I don't know then. Maybe some tofu.
You might say it's exotic.
Some Colorado venison.
No, it's red panda.
Oh, God. You had to do it. We should make t-shirts that have red panda tacos.
Oh, yes.
Idea of the week. We'll see. Product idea of the week. $1 million idea. I'm sure people would be dying to buy them. Lining up.
I would line up.
Yeah, maybe we need to make one just for you.
Maybe that's it. Maybe you just need one shirt.
Just one t-shirt.
And then people will just like look at me weird on the street. They'll be like,
who is this
"You're
terrible person?
Sicko."
All right, guys, today we have our first ever remote interview, meaning that the person is not going to be here with us drinking whiskey in the studio. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I got to go. So we're going to double remote this.
I don't think that I'm set up to do that,
no,
actually.
Damn.
It's dubious if we're set up to do just the one remote person. So anyway, we're talking with a gaming product manager today. His name is Peter, and we're going to call him in a little bit.
What type of gaming?
Well, you're going to have to wait to find out. It sounds like he's worked for a few different gaming companies.
Like casinos?
Yes, like casinos, yes. No, like...
Big game hunting?
Online, yes, big game hunting. Lions and red pandas in particular.
Oh, delicious. Oh, that even makes me sad. Thinking of
so
hunting pandas. See, I just want the product of a panda taco.
I know.
I don't want to think about like how it got there.
Adorable animals. Like,
yeah.
They're so cute.
Maybe like if a red panda just like peacefully died in his sleep and then there's like, well, the meat's already there.
No, still no. Like there's lots of other different animals that you can eat.
Okay.
You don't need red pandas.
That's a very true statement.
Yes, it is. Okay, we have a new bit. It's called Rant, Rumor, Report. This is where we just talk about stuff that we want to rant about, and we report any news. And we talk about rumors, too, that could be flying around.
Juicy.
Yeah, except we rarely know any good rumors, so we're going to need help with that. Maybe tweet at me at Product Popcorn if you have juicy rumors, and we'll read them. The first thing that I have is... I have a couple of different things. They're not really rumors, but first off is that we've had an emerging bunch of new listeners out in Tel Aviv, which I thought was super cool. So
wow.
Shout out to Israel.
Wow, I thought that was in Australia.
No, Tel Aviv?
No, I didn't. I didn't
my
think
God,
it was Australia.
don't admit
that. You were scared for me for a second.
Scared.
You were like, oh my God.
We know that's Israel. We love you, Israel. Thank you.
It's true.
All our Israeli listeners. We also had a LinkedIn connection this week. And and I thought he wrote a really funny email. I literally LOL'd while I was at work. He said, "I'm definitely not someone from LA who works in tech and is considering moving to Denver. Definitely not." So to that, what Ab and I have to say is,
yeah, the air.
It rained yesterday a little.
The air is like annoyingly clean. The
smoggy.
The mountains are so like pretentious with like how beautiful they are.
They're like, look at me, I'm so beautiful.
I'm a mountain. Oh.
And then you feel ugly because like the mountains are there and they're so majestic, and you're like, Jesus.
Oh, I bring a tear to people's eyes because we're so pretty.
And this year, there's like not even barely any snow, so you can't even really go skiing that much.
Yeah, like only like a couple times a week at most.
Yeah, and it's like everybody in the office is always taking powder days and going skiing, so it's like you're all alone at work.
Yeah, because like people don't work as much here.
I know, it's really sad. It's like 3:30 and I'm like the last person in the office, and I'm like, gee, should I just go home?
I know. You know where I was at 3:30 today?
I don't. Yes, okay, I want to know.
I was drinking. I was drinking beer. Okay, so we have a really cool contractor at work whose last day is tomorrow, and we wanted to drink with him.
Aww. There's rants, rumors, and reports. I do have a report. I have 2 quick reports.
Like school reports? Or what are your grades? Did you get an A?
Not yet. I got a Grow with Google Udacity scholarship.
Woo!
Which means that I get to do like a mini front-end development nano degree.
Don't you dare steal my job.
I don't think that's going to be a problem because so far all I've learned is some HTML, and I feel like a toddler, and it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm learning stuff.
Okay.
And I will eventually, like towards the end of the course, the goal is learning JavaScript.
Ooh.
So, yeah. And I have to, now that I've like shared it with all the podcast listeners and with you, it's like I'm super accountable because I've tried to learn to code before, and I just like kind of give up because I'm like, oh, I already have a job that I love, whatever. But like, this is the year. Like, I need to learn to do some code, like for real. Like Brian Ray inspired me.
How have you tried to learn code? I'm curious, just for the people out there product managers who might be considering doing that. I know we've maybe discussed this a little bit in the past, but I'm curious, like, what tools you've used in order to kind of like try to progress yourself in, like, let's say JavaScript or something.
Well, I've never tried JavaScript before, so I took a class in Python through Udacity. It was just a one-off, though. This was before they had nano degrees. It was like probably 3 years ago, and that was cool. Recursion really like confused me, and I found that kind of hard to wrap my head around. I kind of get it now, but it was, it was a good experience. I took a PHP class long time ago in Chicago, like at a community college, like in person. I was like, if I have to go in person, I'll go, and like I'll sit there and I'll learn. And that actually like didn't work very well for me. But so those are like the main way. I took a community college course. I took like online courses. I even like downloaded some games on my mobile phone, like for children. I think there's one called like Move the Turtle or something. That one's actually really great. And it's fun. It's like, I mean, appropriate for this podcast. It's a game. So you're just like, I would sit there on the bus and just like play the game, and you just kind of write lines of code. And
have you done Code Academy?
No, everybody talks about Code Academy. Like, it's a great thing. I'm sure it is. I just never tried it. For me, like, if I have to have like a suite of courses or like a clear path that's going to take me from beginning to end. Like, it can't just be like, I think Code Academy is just like kind of 1 hour deals, right?
Nope.
No, it isn't? Oh.
No, it's like long. Like, the JavaScript thing is going to take you like at least, if you were to work on it solid, it's going to take you like at least 10 plus hours.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I'm throwing that number out there, like total BS number, but my point is that it's not an hour thing.
I got it.
It's not spelled like Code Academy. It's spelled Code Academy.
Oh, got it. We're looking at it online right now. Learn to code interactively for free. Yeah, it looks sweet. It looks like they have a freemium model.
Well, I've used it and I've never paid for anything, and I've gotten a ton of like hours out of that. And they have JavaScript, they have HTML, CSS, Python, Ruby.
Yeah, it looks like they have a whole data science.
Java, SQL, yeah. They give you a task on the left. You have your code editor in the middle, and on the right is the result of the code that you're writing. And so you see it in real time. So I always recommend Code Academy. We're not getting paid by them in any way. They're not a sponsor. I just think they're awesome.
Maybe I should look it up. Well, no, because I don't have time, because now I'm in this Udacity thing. So, also my other piece of news, and unfortunately, I applied for the scholarship, and I'll put a link in the show notes. I don't know how often Udacity does this. It was like a specifically U.S.-based scholarship. They were like giving out, I don't know, 1,000 or 1,500 of these scholarships.
U.S. and Tel Aviv.
Only U.S.
Oh, okay.
So it was a U.S.-based scholarship. But I just didn't think that I would get it, you know? I mean, mainly because, like, they ask for your salary information. And, like, I mean, I like, work in tech already, and I am not...
Hundreds. You make many hundreds
millions of
thousands.
dollars.
Yes.
No, I don't. But, you know, I'm not, like, at the poverty line by any means. So I thought, like, there's no way that they'll ever give it to me, but they did. I thought because I said I'd, like, podcast about it. But anyway, so I also... yesterday started my MBA.
Wow.
I know, it's so...
Really?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I've been going back and forth about the MBA thing for, like, ever. And, you know, my company does pay for postgraduate education. So I figured, what the hell, just take one class, see how I like it, and then decide if I'm going to continue.
And you're taking an online course?
No. And yeah, I'm not going to do an MBA and do it online. Like, the only point of doing an MBA is to be in person.
Oh.
So I show up, and like two things annoyed me immediately off the bat. This is where the rant comes in. This is like where the report turns into a rant. I get there, so this is at UC Denver, and they sent me an email like before reminding me that like the dress code was business casual. I don't even wear business casual to my freaking job where like everybody wears jeans and t-shirts.
They have a dress code for the school?
Well, it was like an orientation. And they were like, but I was like, I had to literally come home from work. I work in Boulder. I had to come all the way home and change to go to my school orientation. I was so annoyed about it.
Really? Like, did you regret it when you showed up?
No. Everybody was dressed up. Everybody was like in a suit.
Why?
I wore my nice jeans and a blazer.
Are they going to turn you?
I refused to wear like pants.
Are they going to turn you away if you're wearing Crocs?
Probably. I don't know. No, I don't think that they'd ask you to leave, but you'd be pretty embarrassed. You would feel out of place.
What if they're dress Crocs?
Yeah, I ought to order some of those. Hey, Boulder, Colorado.
Tuxedo Crocs. You know what, though? Like, Crocs actually has some pretty good-looking shoes, not just like the foam ones.
Way off topic. I do agree. Crocs are, you know Crocs is like headquartered in Boulder, right?
No.
Oh, yeah. And so they have a big Crocs store in Boulder. And yeah, they do have some nice shoes now. Nicer than, it's not just like the standard Crocs.
It's not the foam stuff.
It's not what we're talking about. We are. And then the other thing so the first thing that annoyed me was business casual. The second thing that annoyed me was like people kept asking me about my background. And I was telling them I work in tech. I'm a product manager, blah, blah. They're like, no, what's your background? And I realized that they were asking me about like my academic background. And I'm like, that is an irritating question for some reason. I was like, well, yeah, like I have a bachelor's in international relations. And they're like, oh, so you don't like actually have a technical degree and blah, blah, blah. I was like, half the people I work with to have no degree. Like, I don't. They're
my
very,
degree is in art.
It was kind of like that pretentiousness about like your academic background that I just didn't like. And I did a master's degree, in Argentina, in econ, but I just like didn't feel like talking about that, and I don't know. Anyway, just like that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I don't know if we're gonna continue. I haven't even really started class yet. I'm already like whoa on this MBA. So we'll see how it goes.
Just keep notes and make sure that like when you start the class, you raise your hand and you tell the teacher exactly what they're doing wrong.
I will absolutely do that. I have a rant, and it's about the wine store. And we talked about this really briefly, and I got so riled up about it one day after work that I wrote an entire blog post about it because I had to go to the wine store, and I was so irritated after going to the wine store that I was like, I need to fix this, and I wrote a whole blog post. Okay, so.
Were we talking about, like, how you don't know what the hell, like, what type of wine you want to buy?
Yes. Okay, so, like,
Oh, yeah, we talked about this with my friend from Texas.
Yes.
When we were like, okay, we should just have a machine, and the machine's like, this is the wine you want.
Yeah, but even I thought about
do.
some better ways that we could just fix this immediately. Like if you own a wine store. Okay.
Burn it down.
Who decided, don't burn it down?
I was just waiting for you.
Big
I was
waste.
waiting for it to catch up to you there.
Okay. Who decided that the wine store should be organized by grape variety?
By grape variety?
And country.
And
by these two factors.
Well, what are you going to organize
So,
it by?
okay, when you need a bottle of wine, what do you usually think? Like, I need a Chilean cab. I mean, you might, if you're super into wine, that might be what you're looking for. But for most normal people, you're looking for what? Like a $10 bottle for a weekday night with my husband, or a $25 bottle because I have to take it to a dinner party, so I want it to be a little bit fancy and impress my guests, right? You don't have necessarily the country and the variety in mind. You have it's almost like jobs to be done, right? It's you have a job that you want that wine to do for you.
Yeah, and that job is to fill the empty hole in my chest where my heart used to be.
But seriously, why don't we fix the wine store? Why, instead of organizing it by country and grape, which is just ridiculous and silly. Again, unless you're some super wine connoisseur.
Yeah,
why don't we organize it by $10 movie night wines? Or splurge for dinner party wines. Why don't we organize the wine store that way? By what you're looking for.
Or you could do both. You have because Trader Joe's, I'm not sure how wide Trader Joe's is dispersed across the country.
I know in California it's a big deal because when I lived in Mexico, we used to drive across the border literally only to go to Trader Joe's.
Oh. They used to have their $2 chuck or something like that.
Yes.
Right?
Do they still have it?
I don't know.
In Colorado, we should explain that only one. Grocery stores typically don't have liquor here. It's a very complicated rule. Yes, you can buy weed everywhere, but you cannot, for some godforsaken reason, buy wine at the grocery store. So there's only one Trader Joe's in the entire state that has wine, and I never go to that one.
In the whole...
It's one grocery store per chain in the whole state can sell liquor.
Right.
Or per
and
county. I don't know what it is.
That's the one on Colorado and 8th.
Yes, and I never go to that one.
I don't know that because I don't have a problem.
Do they have $2 chuck?
They do.
But yeah, that's it's the perfect, that is fulfilling a job to be done, right? I'm a poor college, that's when I used to buy it. I'm a poor college student. I just need a cheap bottle of wine that's not super gross. Go to Trader Joe's, get your $2 chuck. Why don't other wines kind of sell themselves like this?
Even if it was gross, who cares? It's $2.
It's very true. It's very true. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you do when you go in the wine store? How do you decide what wine to buy?
I honestly, so this is me. I need reviews. Reviews?
Yes. Look at reviews. There's 20,000 different kinds of wine.
Yeah, I know. So I know that if I want a nice wine, I'm spending $20-something, right?
Right.
Maybe more. Maybe if I'm getting real fancy, $30. Whew, right?
Crazy town.
And so I'll find a couple and then I'll look them up. But I really and I'm totally sold when they have the review on a sticker in front of the wine that says wine enthusiast, or really whoever. It could be Gerald really likes this wine. And
it's
I'm who's
a boost.
Gerald?
It's a Facebook boost or a Tinder boost.
It is, and that totally works on me. If I'm 97 points, I'm what does points mean nothing to me?
What? Yeah, I disagree. The points mean everything. You want 95 points or above.
Right, but I mean the points are just arbitrary. It's who's pointing them? Do I have anything to measure those points against?
That's true. That's true.
But I totally buy it. I'm still ooh, that's a lot of points. That's 3 away from 100.
So you go for reviews.
I do.
This is the awkward thing, though. I still feel they the store has to be organized by price in some manner, because most people, I would say 90% of people that go into the wine store know exactly how much money they want to spend, or have a pretty specific range of how much money they want to spend on a bottle of wine. So why don't they just organize it that way? It's not I've never been upsold on a wine. If I'm I just need a bottle of rosé for me and my girlfriend to drink tonight on the patio. I'm not going to walk into the store and somebody's going to like upsell me on a $25 bottle. I'm like going in for a $10 to $12 bottle.
You know what? They could at least do this. I don't know why they organize it the way they do, where like the prices are all spread out. Maybe it's alphabetical. That's probably it. It's probably alphabetical.
It's by country and by grade. It's like by country, and then within that country, it's like by variety.
By variety, right. They should at least color code the things, and that way you have a range. You're like, okay, all these ones with bright green labels, I know that's the ones I'm looking for, and it's at least easier to pick out, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I feel like they should have, like, if I owned a wine store, I would have like a shelf that was like, here's your dinner party wines, another shelf, like, here's your cheap movie night wines, like another shelf, like impressive gift wines for your snobby friends, like whatever the shelves are, but like
drink away your loneliness.
Drink away your loneliness, need multiple bottles, shelf. I don't know. That's just
6 packs of wine.
It's a super random rant, but anyway, that's my rant. Okay, so today on the podcast, our guest is Peter Knudson, and I have him on the phone. Peter, did I say your last name right?
Yes, you did.
Awesome. So Peter is a gaming PM, and I wanted to kind of get his perspective on kind of working in that space. Peter, where do you work right now?
So currently I'm a product manager at Unity Technologies. We're the company that makes the game engine that a lot of gaming companies use to make their games. So I'm kind of right now I'm a gaming PM, but right now I'm working on the platform level, I like to think I'm working on every game, basically.
You are? Yeah. I have a couple of friends who are trying to use Unity. Not trying, I'm sure they're successfully using it, but...
That's cool. Can you talk a little bit about like what Unity does, just for people that don't know?
Yeah, for sure. So basically Unity is a cross-platform game engine. So it's like it's a tool that game developers can use to kind of not have to reinvent the wheel all the time, for example. So, a lot of games need a physics engine and every game wants to go to iOS and Android. So then rather than having to, write that multiple times with different teams, Unity is a tool that they can make the game once and then kind of export it to all the platforms. That's one of the value adds of it. The other is, having 3D rendering and all sorts of other suites of tools that, game developers need, but don't necessarily want to make themselves, for example.
Awesome. A few fun facts about Peter that I scoped out online. So you went to Harvard for college. Never heard of it. Is that like University of Phoenix, like some online school?
Yeah, is it like community college?
Yeah, it's small liberal arts school, Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Oh, cool. Okay. I thought maybe it was like in your home state, Minnesota. I wasn't sure.
I thought it was pronounced Havard.
You guys are funny.
We're drinking whiskey, so you're not. Usually our guests are here with us, drinking with us.
Oh, that would have been fun. That would have been fun.
Yeah. But you work in the Bay Area now, right?
Yeah, that's right. So kind of my moving around. So I grew up in Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota, and kind of got sick of the cold. So wanted to kind of move out. I went to college on the East Coast, and then immediately after graduating, I moved over to the Bay Area, and I've been here ever since.
Awesome. Yeah, California is a great place to be. The only other place that's better than California is not Colorado, right, Adam? Colorado.
Not Colorado.
Terrible here.
Terrible. Yeah, and there's like the whole fire thing though too.
Oh yeah, we get that was another thing that's bad about Colorado. Yeah, we get fires, so nobody should move here. Yeah,
like
awful.
We had one recently too.
Crap, that's right.
We're not gonna beat California on this whole fire game that we're playing. They've got like pretty much most people on that one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. They beat us. Anyway. Peter, you also said that you would help us with Acronomicon.
Acronomicon!
Oh, man. I'm so excited for this because it's got to be a product manager has I don't know. I have like a million acronyms that I use every single day. If somebody like outside of the PM world were to listen to me speak, they'd be so confused.
We feel the same. That's why we do this bet. So what, if you had to pick 2 or 3, hit us with some acronyms.
Okay, so mine are gaming related. So IAP, does that ring a bell at all?
IAP.
Of course it does.
It means
It means iguana.
no iguanas today. No iguanas.
Iguanas
Start over.
Associated Press.
You said that last time.
What? I really said? Did I say Associated Press?
You said like the exact same thing last time.
IAP. Well, that's what it stands for. I can't help it.
I don't know that one, so I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, so that's in-app purchase. So that's the way, like a lot of these games like Candy Crush or, free-to-play games, they make their money through the microtransactions, and then the industry standard term, I guess we call it the IAPs, in-app purchase.
That's a good one. That's actually super useful.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that to my friends, like talking with my friends about like iPhone games. I'll be like, yeah, like that game's got like some IAPs. And
Yeah.
they'll be like,
There you go.
He's so smart.
they're like, what are you talking about, Iguana Associated Press?
It's like the same acronym. Hit us with another one.
Okay, eCPM.
Ooh,
eCPM. Electronically communicated
Product manager.
product manager. It's like an email, but it's a product manager. What?
Yes.
I'm so
Makes no
confused. I'm
sense.
confusing myself.
I don't know. What is it?
So this one's another monetization-related term, but for advertising. So effective cost per 1,000. So they use that's the trick one, because the M stands for mil, like MILLE, which I think is like Latin for 1,000. So it actually means, so like you get paid on a per 1,000 impression basis for the ads, and then what you would get it's like averaged across all of the impressions that you ever got.
Oh.
So if your game is like showing 1,000 impressions, your eCPM might be like $10 or something.
So if eCPM is you said it's estimated cost per 1,000?
Yep.
What's per million? What's estimated cost per million? Or is there even an acronym for that?
No. I guess they just they didn't think that far ahead, huh? But
I think it's just like one of those emojis that's just like a money bags. It's just the money bag emoji.
At that point, you have so many users that it doesn't even matter what your estimated cost is.
Exactly.
Do you want to do one more? This is fun. I'm learning things.
Okay, I have a few more if you're interested. Okay, so there's ARPDAU, a long one.
Oh, whoa. Tell me again. ARP?
Yep, ARPDAU.
DAU.
ARPDAU.
I just keep thinking AARP.
No, kind of, but it's pronounced. People call it ARPDAU. That's how you refer it as an acronym.
Oh, so which of course stands for.
I'm not even going to try. So many letters. Go ahead.
What's the third letter? You know what? Let's just pretend like came up with something like really clever for this one.
What is it?
So it's average revenue per daily active user.
Ah.
So like, you take up all the money you made in a day for a game, and then divide it by the number of people that played, and that's your ARPDAU.
That's a good one too. I feel like we should like adapt some of these acronyms to like other types of products, because these are like really good KPIs. Mm-hmm. So okay, I want to do one more. I have to do one more because now I'm like curious.
Okay.
Sorry, one more.
Let's see. I have ARPPU.
ARPPU.
Okay, annual revenue per player. Don't know.
Unity.
Unity.
You're really close.
Okay.
So it's average revenue per paying user. So a lot of times these games, they'll like a game like Candy Crush or something in the free-to-play market. Like 95% of people will probably have never paid any microtransaction, but you really care about that 5% of players that are spending in your game. And then this is the metric: the average revenue per paying user is the one you keep track of. Be like, okay, so of the people that are paying, how much are they paying? So that's kind of one of the health metrics for the monetization side.
That it seems like that would be a really good metric for like any product with a freemium model, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Those are great. Thank you for coming up with those. That was awesome.
Some of them were intimidatingly long. Roughly half of them.
I tried to pick some juicy ones for you.
Those were good. No, I loved them. Okay. We're going to do a really quick warm-up game called Cool Shit or Bullshit. I've picked out some games, but these aren't really like mobile games. They're kind of random gamey type things. So I want to know your feelings on them and tell me your honest beliefs. All right. Number 1. I don't know if you have this in California. Top Golf.
Oh, I heard that this is opening up somewhere in the Bay Area, but they don't have it. But I've heard that it's cool, so I guess I can give it a cool shit.
Okay.
But I haven't played it.
I love
really
Top
want
Golf.
to.
I just like going there because they have those donuts that you inject with different fillings, and I call them heroin donuts.
What?
Yeah, they're amazing. Literally, they're like little round donut holes, and you just like inject them with like vanilla or strawberry frosting. It's fantastic.
Wow.
You self-inject it?
Yes.
Damn.
They like give you like frosting needles. It's really bizarre. I've never seen anything like it, but I love it.
Are you sure you were like not dreaming?
Yes.
Like that sounds like a Kim dream to me.
I've been there several times, specifically to get the donuts. Anyway, moving on. Angry Birds. How do you feel about it? Cool shit or bullshit?
I think it's cool shit. It's like one of the first mobile games everyone has ever played. Back in the day when the phone was just coming out. So I would have to like attribute some part of my career to the success of Angry Birds. So I have to give it a cool shit.
So I forget the founder's name of Angry Birds. I know he's super famous, but I heard him speak at a conference once, and he claimed that they literally spent $0 on marketing, that it was all just word of mouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard that it was also like not their studio's like first game. It might have been like number 40 in a list of like multiple failures or just not as successful, and they were kind of like on maybe like their last game that they could make, and it just really took off.
That's insane.
Did a little bird tell you that?
God.
Maybe it's possible.
A tiny angry bird.
A tiny angry bird. Candy Crush.
I guess I haven't. I don't know. I'm not going to give it a bullshit, but I would say it's like it's not like my personal style of games probably is more in line with like Clash of Clans and Candy Crush. Although I have to give it like a thumbs up for being one of the most successful games of all time.
That's true.
And people's introduction to spending on microtransactions too.
It's like everybody's mom is like spending loads of money on Candy Crush.
It should be like Cocaine Crush because people are so addicted to that game. It's like it's impressive to me. It's like it seems like a simple model, and it kind of is, but it's such an immensely successful model that it's
so addictive
in a weird way, inspiring. Yeah,
it's addictive like candy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it's crazy how long that like games like that can stay popular. Like Candy Crush has been around for years and years, and you can still see it in the top downloaded games. On Apple Store.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, last one: monkeys, zebras, or red pandas?
Oh man, I gotta go with the pandas.
Yes.
They're the cutest and the most
delicious.
Most endangered.
It's not delicious. Stop it. You've already made the red panda taco joke earlier.
Literally the same episode. I'm getting closer and closer together.
All right, awesome. That was a great cool shit or bullshit. Although the last one wasn't really a cool shit or bullshit. It was a choose between these 3 items, but I strayed from the game.
Yeah, it was like
not very consistent.
Whether or not you're wrong, because there was 2 wrong answers and 1 right answer.
Awesome. All right, so let's get into it. So you are a gaming PM. You've worked at Zynga, Activision, now Unity. How did you get into product management?
So my gaming career started as a game designer, actually, kind of during college. I interned with this company called Wizards of the Coast, and they make the game called Magic the Gathering. I'm not sure.
Ooh.
I play it like on a weekly basis.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. So I had like a gap year before going to college.
How
and
very European.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't quite ready just go, I guess. And it turns out that there was an internship position at this company that makes Magic, and I had been like a huge Magic fan growing up. And so I got the job, and then I went to the company, and then I started like working on Magic related stuff for like a year, and designed some cards, and like I just got hooked on the game industry from that point on, and knew that I would always want to be somewhere related to the game making process, because it really feels like you make money in games when people are having fun, and it's not like toothpaste or what everyone's going to need that, or like financial services or whatever. But with games, like your success or failure is like how much people are enjoying it, and I thought that was really addicting. So I tried to stay as much as possible, and then I started working after graduation as a product manager at Zynga. So I got the job right out of college as a PM, and I think largely just like having a strong passion for gaming makes you like as a PM you kind of really want to understand the users and the products and like what drives their motivations. And I think having been a strong gamer in the past like helped a lot with that, getting the foot in the door as a PM.
What's a big game by Zynga to give some context?
Yeah, exactly. So Zynga's most famous for probably two games. One is Words with Friends, which is the mobile game you play Scrabble.
Whoa.
Love that game.
Yeah.
And then the other one being Farmville, where you can go on a virtual farm. And
nobody's heard of these games. Are these like like the most popular games ever? That's so cool.
Yeah, totally.
What did you, just going back a little bit, what did you study in college? Did you have a technical background or?
So I'm largely like, I had a CS minor, but my concentration was in economics.
Got it. So still pretty quantitative. And then, I mean, you clearly have a design background too, if you said you were doing gaming design before you went into the product role. Right,
exactly.
Okay. Do you think that that's really important as like, I would just think as like a gaming PM, you would need to have a really strong sense of design, and also be like super passionate user of your own product.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. I think, there isn't like really one recipe for what makes a good PM. And at Zynga, like I met a lot of really awesome PMs who maybe weren't like dedicated gamers. And a lot of the times but you really have to like understand like at the user level, like what drives people's motivations. Maybe if you aren't like, the most diligent Farmville player, you can still kind of understand like why the users behave the way they do. And then also like, you can supplement some of maybe like not being that strong in design with like, being really good at data analysis or being a really strong technical person.
Very economic, kind of related to a lot of econ stuff there with like understanding motivation and incentive.
You know what's interesting about this to me is that like and this is what attracted me to like want to be in the gaming industry. I gave up on those hopes and dreams, long ago.
Peter's, you're like, he's bringing those hopes and dreams back.
I'm like, I could do it again. No, I think it's like fun because it's like you're designing something and your end goal is to provide something that is most fun for people, right? Whereas like in the software development, it's like in the outside of the gaming industry, it's more like you're designing something to be as efficient and to accomplish the needs as possible. And that is still true for the gaming industry, but there's that like virtuous like thing of like where you're like, we want it to be as fun as possible.
It's like idealistic in a way.
And so it's kind of got like this whole like Disney vibe to me where it's like magical kingdom there.
Hey, people have super tons of fun with my big data marketing tool. I don't know what you're talking about.
They're just like typing, they're like, wee!
It's just as addictive as Words with Friends,
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I mean, because like the learnings from the gaming world can be applied to some of these like software as a service or like big data kind of companies, because even like if a user isn't necessarily like playing a game, they still respond to incentives. So that's where you think about like, how do I onboard these users to make sure that they adopt this new feature that we're rolling out to the dashboard, for example. So that's like using kind of the same funnel techniques and onboarding messaging that you would use in a game. It's just in a different context.
I feel like I could definitely use you to improve our onboarding messaging because it is dry. but
Yeah.
maybe I should try that actually at work to like compare our onboarding messaging to gaming onboarding messaging and maybe like tweak it to make it more along the same lines.
Gamifying is such a huge thing too now that is like rising, and I think that like its success is tied, well, obviously to the gaming industry, but I think it's like really
becoming popularized in like just other types of SaaS and mobile apps and stuff.
Yeah, and I think
exactly.
I think it's impressive how like people can recognize, and like you were just saying, taking concepts that are successful from the gaming industry and applying it to real life.
Especially with like online education. So
not real life. Real life, like gaming's not real life.
Words with friends is real.
That is
Dude,
real.
that shit got real a lot. Like I had some friends where we were in some real battles. But anyway, that was a long time ago.
They're no longer your friends.
They're no longer my friends, yeah. So what does I was going to say, like, I just started this Udacity course today, and, there's like the concept of like badges and points and just very simple, I think, gaming types of functionality. They're kind of working into
mechanics, yeah.
Online education platforms now. But I want to know more, Peter, about your, like, what does your roadmap look like? Like, what kinds of features are you working on? I know you said you're like a platform PM, but can you give us kind of an idea of your roadmap? Just seems like it would be way more fun than mine, so I'm curious.
Yeah, so I currently work on, with Unity also has an ad network. So I'm on that side of things. So, like, when a game, maybe a mobile game, wants to release and they want to make money in the game, they can either show IAP, like we talked about in the acronyms, or, show ads in the game. So I work on the side that helps the developers make money through ads. So, it's always about coming up with like new tools that help, the developer of the game, know how much money they're making, or new different types of ad formats that, or, recently what's been popular is these ads that are like not just a video, but they're actual interactable piece of content. Like you can play a game as an ad is like a mini game, and you want to complete the game, and then it like, hey, if you had fun, then you can go and download it.
Wow.
And stuff like that. So
that's really cool.
There's all new innovation on the kind of like the ad side that's really exciting.
That's like Inception if you have like an ad for a game within a game.
Yeah, totally.
We're watching Black Mirror after this, so hopefully it's not about games.
Oh yeah, the new season came out, right?
I know, yeah. We're watching all of them.
And we're doing episodes on them.
We are. We're trying. It's hard to get through them all because we can only watch like one a week because we have nightmares. So
you have to let those scars heal as much as possible before the next one.
Before you touch, that hot burner with your right hand again.
Yeah.
Last question, Peter. So I just, if somebody is listening that wants to get into product management at like a gaming company, what would be your advice?
I think that's like one of the trickiest parts about the gaming industry is really being able to understand how the business model works. So the games are always these days free. The developer can offer it just for no money, and then hopes that like their game is set up in such a way that the users will have to like somehow pay or want to pay one way or the other, or show ads, for example. So, but a lot of companies can really fall flat if they don't make their business model work. And such, they'll offer the game for free, but then somehow didn't have any compelling in-app purchase transactions, and then the game has to stop running because it's not making any money. The days of offering, having to buy the game for $20 up front are kind of dwindling. So the free-to-play game model is really where it is the future, and understanding how to make that work, like balancing a game economy or offering the right in-app purchase packages, or they call or only letting the users kind of like progress a little bit day after day is really understanding that is how where the bulk of the product management work comes from, and then and being able to do analysis on that and fix the game economy will add a lot of value to a gaming studio.
Like that's very specific to a product manager role. Like what about like just getting into the gaming industry, period?
Adam, your dreams are dead, okay? You work for Shutterstock. You're going to be there for the rest of your life.
Shutterstock is great, but I mean, games are also great.
I know. You have to move to the Bay Area. I feel like most gaming companies are in the Bay Area.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, it's not, like I think there's a good handful out here, but just because there's like a lot of tech in San Francisco Bay Area. But the gaming companies can be really anywhere. I think, and the cool thing about a gaming studio is that there's a lot of different types of roles that go into the creation of the game. You have a lot of artists, so if you could be drawing game characters or game items, or there's the person who's in charge of making the sounds for the game. So there's audio technicians, usually somebody who's part of the game studio.
I want that job. I just want to make the sounds.
Yeah.
So you can find like the elephant one and the horse. It's like
I'm really good at trolling the internet for like weird animal sounds. I think I'd be good at that job.
Yeah, and then the coolest thing about the gaming industry now, especially with like a product like, not to like toot the Unity horn, but like Unity is free to use, and it's really easy to pick up and kind of just create something like a game. And so like having made any type of game, even if it wasn't like a really big success, will be really cool for gaming companies to see to see having you produced, and then they'd be more likely to take a second look if they know that you're passionate about making games.
I'm gonna make a game on Unity. I'm gonna be like Kim Kardashian. Remember, she like made that game. She made like millions of dollars from that.
Yeah,
she didn't. She just like was like, okay, put my name on this.
Well, yeah, probably, but I mean,
that's what your game would be like.
Yeah. And also, so Peter, where can people find you? You have a newsletter too, right? A product management newsletter?
Yeah, that one, it's been on a little bit of a hiatus, but I'm planning to start it up again. That one's called PM Lunch. The reason why I had that was because, like, every Friday, I think product managers would get together and, like, discuss learnings and what they're working on and stuff like that. So then I saw that pmlunch.com was, like, not registered by GoDaddy, so I just, like, snatched it up. And that's what the name of the newsletter was. But most people can find me, keep up with my comings and goings as on my personal website, which is peterknudson.com. So,
and I'll put a link in the show notes for both of those for people that want to follow Peter and join his newsletter.
So for the final words,
oh God,
would we? Okay, because like this is like a weird thing, and I'm like nerding out on this, but like totally was super into like getting into the gaming industry. Is that like? For someone who wants to get in the gaming industry, you need to research the roles that are that you're looking for, right? Like you're let's say you're like you got to find out what all roles comprise or like make up the gaming industry, and then you gear yourself towards what you would want to do. Yeah,
that's a good way to put it. Also, when you're applying to like a specific gaming studio, they'll absolutely want to hear you say stuff about their games, and the more you can sound like kind of like a fanboy or girl about their products, like the better your offer is going to be. So, especially as a PM, like you want to hit the ground running, kind of knowing like what the game is about, what are the main features, like, and then game developers love talking about their own game, so it'll give a lot to talk about during the interview process.
Cool.
That's awesome. You're not going to steal my like sound job, are you?
No.
Peter, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. This was really fun.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of the podcast.
Peter, do you have any last words?
No, thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. You were our first remote interview, so it's exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, sorry you couldn't drink whiskey with us, but next time, if you're in Denver.
Yeah, come to Denver and we'll all just drink whiskey.
Yeah, great reason for him to come all the way here. All right. Thanks so much, Peter.
Yeah, later.
Bye. All right. right. Well, that was, what do you think, Adam? A successful first remote interview, right?
Yeah, I'm proud of myself because I am super jealous that that he's working in the game industry and I am not.
Anyway, that's all we have today. So thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to Product Popcorn. You can subscribe to the podcast or leave a review on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. You can always read more at productpopcorn.com or follow us on Twitter at Product Popcorn.